Chinese embassy in Cambodia dismiss case of kidnapped blood slave as fabricated. According to the initial investigation by the Cambodian police, the case of a Chinese kidnapped and sent to Cambodia as a blood slave is completely fabricated, the Chinese embassy in Cambodia said on Monday. Trouble stirs. Rainsey's support for CP may violate law on political parties. Despite his rants against several newly created opposition parties which split from the court-dissolved Cambodia National Rescue Party, CNRP, former opposition leader Sam Rainsy has publicly thrown his support behind the Candlelight Party he had founded and mobilized support for it. Without climate action, extreme weather will trigger global humanitarian needs. The impact of extreme weather on Madagascar is an example of the runaway humanitarian needs the world will face unless it takes action to tackle the climate crisis, the World Food Programme (WFP) said on February 25. Police say vampire victim a hoax, media told not to spread fake news. Pre-Sihanouk Provincial Police yesterday arrested 4 Chinese nationals, including 3 men and a woman, and sent them to provincial court for questioning over producing fake news about the detention and torture of a Chinese national being used as a blood slave. Close to 150,000 Cambodian children aged 3 and 4 vaccinated against COVID-19, registering 24.52%. Since February 23, in 5 days, Cambodia has vaccinated 149,779 children aged 3 and 4 against COVID-19. Thai medical lecturer calls on people to protect themselves as COVID symptoms can last almost a year. People who have been infected with COVID-19 are likely to suffer from post-COVID or long COVID symptoms for up to a year, a Chulalongkorn University lecturer said in a Facebook post on Monday. After 2 days lull, another 33 arrivals from Cambodia tested positive with COVID-19 in Thailand. After a 2 days lull of no arrivals from Cambodia or Cambodian nationals being tested positive for COVID-19 in Thailand, the spell was broken Sunday when 33 arrivals from Cambodia were tested positive with the deadly virus. No new Omicron variant of COVID-19-related deaths reported for the second consecutive day, despite 356 new cases. Cambodia has for the second consecutive day appears to have bucked the trend of deaths from Omicron variant of the coronavirus, when no new deaths were reported. NACD calls for crackdown on e-cigarettes. The National Authority for Combating Drugs, NACD, urged authorities in the capital and provinces to strictly enforce the ban on e-cigarettes and heated tobacco products, HTPs, in the kingdom. Cambodia calls for negotiation talks between Russia and Ukraine. Cambodia will remain neutral and will not condemn Russia nor Ukraine, but encourages both sides to hold talks, negotiate and come to an amicable solution to avoid the use of military forces and nuclear weapons. CPP denies intimidating ex-CNRP members and officials. The ruling Cambodian People's Party, CPP, has denied alleged intimidation and threatening of members and officials of the court-dissolved Cambodia National Rescue Party, CNRP, ahead of the upcoming commune election. Cambodia opens embassy in Ankara to foster better relations. Cambodia will now be able to serve its citizens in Turkey better with the opening of its embassy in Ankara on Sunday. Appeal court upholds man's 3-year jail for trafficking ivories. The Phnom Penh Appeal Court yesterday upheld the 3-year jail sentence of a businessman imposed by the Pre-Sihanouk Provincial Court for transporting rare wildlife bones without permission from South Africa to Cambodia in 2014. Politicians not allowed prisoner visitations unless court approved. The National Assembly has reiterated that the law on political parties can't be amended just because non-governmental organizations, NGOs, have criticized the law that doesn't allow politicians to visit prisoners to discuss their political agendas. TikTok launches new in-app digital literacy hub with content creators in Cambodia. TikTok will collaborate with national stakeholders and TikTok creators in Cambodia to champion digital literacy and increase awareness of online safety. Angelina Jolie continues to support conservation. Hollywood actress Angelina Jolie has spent years supporting the work of rangers through the Maddox Jolie Pitt Foundation, MJP Foundation, in Battambang Province's Samlet district to fight forestry crimes in heavily used conservation areas. Woman prisoner. Appeal Court lowers counterfeiters' sentence. The Phnom Penh Appeal Court yesterday upheld the conviction of 2 women accused of paying for a guest house using counterfeit money, but reduced the sentence. Historic day for mine-free Khmer. Some top-drawer dignitaries, business leaders and mine action organizations celebrate the declaration of Khmer province to be the first in Cambodia to be completely free of landmines at the Khmer Mine-Free Province event. Svay Rieng province leads in eradicating open defecation. In January, Svay Rieng became the first province to eradicate open defecation, thanks to a huge effort from national level down to individual communes. Chinese embassy urges Chinese nationals in Cambodia to abide by the laws of Cambodia and China. The Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Cambodia has urged Chinese nationals in Cambodia to abide by the laws of Cambodia and China, and not to fabricate rumors and deceive the public. Migrants crossing borders illegally an issue in Banteay Meanchey. Last year at least 4,000 Cambodian workers crossed the border illegally into Thailand and were repatriated by Thai authorities through the Poi Pat International Border Checkpoint in Banteay Meanchey Province. Digital literacy for future access to public services. Post Minister Chi Vantath said yesterday that about 70% of the population is digitally illiterate, while less than 30% have the ability to use the internet and digital systems to search and share information, hindering people's ability to move forward with the government's plans for digital access to public services. Ministry supports organic produce. The Agriculture Ministry and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, started the Cambodian Horticultural Project and the Cambodian Fruit and Vegetable Project to expand the organic market for farmers. Japan to provide $41 million for mine clearance and water supply projects in Cambodia. The government of Japan will extend approximately $41 million in grant to support mine clearance and victim assistance and water supply projects in Cambodia. Australian Gov donates freezers for vaccines. In order to help the government fight COVID-19 and its variants, the Australian government donated more than 100 cutting-edge freezers to Cambodia to help roll out the latest vaccination campaign.